We're looking at careers in finance, banking, and insurance. The town, Scotts Bluff. The company, Platte Valley Financial Services Group. Lots of words, lots of jobs. Let's go. Marcy here is the Vice President Director of Mortgage Operations. That's a really long title, Marcy. Break it down for us.
Well, what I do is on a daily basis, I basically just talk to people, take loan applications to try to get them a mortgage. And what I do is interact and oversee the operations in all of our banks located in Nebraska, Wyoming, and Colorado, and their mortgage functions there.
Wow. And tell me quickly, what is a mortgage?
Mortgage is what you do to get a loan to buy your first house or any house that you live in. So
there you go. Well, that seems like a huge job. What does it look like day to day?
Day to day, I interact with people taking loan applications, trying to qualify them for mortgages, but I also talk to other lenders and other banks to try to problem solve and troubleshoot, and also underwrite files to get the loans approved to get them a mortgage as far as that.
Wow, and you took a unique journey to get to this role.
Yes, when I graduated high school, actually, I went into the United States Air Force, and I served my term there and came back and went into concrete, and then actually went into trucking, and then ended up with an abstract company, and that's how I kind of partnered with the bank and ended up applying here, and 15 years later, here I am.
There you go. So no college degree required. You got some training in the Air Force, and then over time figuring out what you liked most.
Right.
What do you love about this job?
The thing I love most about it is basically being able to get people into a house where they start their family and grow, and just getting them into a mortgage and being able to be their own landlord.
Wow. So you have to keep up on a lot of technical details, a lot of kind of specifics, but then also being able to work with people sounds really rewarding. How would someone know that this is the right job for them?
If you like people skills, or you have people skills and you like to interact with people, definitely banking is a good thing, because there's a lot of customer contact, whether it be internal or external customers. But basically being able to interact with people and obviously having some numbers base as far as your desires concerned has to be there too in banking. So
yeah, you could get a summer job right now, see if you can, this is something you really love.
Yes, there's a lot of different areas as far as the bank's concerned. A lot of times people start out in teller positions, and then being able to kind of apply for other positions internally as far as the bank's concerned when it has to do with car loans, bank accounts, those types of things. So there's a lot of different opportunities as far as job advancement.
Yeah, it's a big world out there. I'd love to dip my toe in the water and see if this is the right fit for me. Is there something I could do?
Yeah, let's look at approving a file.
Let's do it.
So what we're going to do today, Andy, is we're going to look at approving a mortgage loan. Well, what we have to kind of look at as far as underwriting a mortgage loan is we want your housing ratio to be 28%. That means your house payment not to exceed 28% of your income. And then we look at your total debt ratio, and that means your house payments, car payments, credit cards, everything all combined, not to exceed 36%. So when we're looking at your income against your debt, we just want to make sure that these actually work for the amounts that we have to have you to qualify for a mortgage loan.
Yeah.
So what we do also is we look at credit scores. Now we want you to have at least a 640, and different programs actually require different types of credit scores. But what we like to see is a 640 or greater to try to qualify you for a mortgage.
Nice. Well, I think I might qualify for this. So that's it then. That's all you need, this equation.
No, there's other things that we have to look at. We have to look at your employment. Obviously, you have to have been on your job for a certain amount of time. We also have to look at money, if you have money in deposits, accounts, those types of things. But there are a lot of programs out there that you can qualify for 100% financing too.
Yeah. So armed with this, I can start underwriting for anybody? I can like hang my shingle.
No, you need experience too. I mean, mortgage lenders have to be licensed also. So there is a
makes
national
sense, too.
mortgage licensing system. And so you do have to have some post-education just to kind of get that license and make sure you can do the mortgage lending.
Well, it makes sense. At least you've given me some tracks to run on and some next steps. Marcy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's Platte Valley Financial Services Group. They're financial experts and they're helping people.
Hey, I'm Audrey. Today we are exploring careers in the financial and insurance fields here in the capital city at Emeritus. Let's check it out. So I'm here with Brooke Corver at Emeritus. Brooke, what do you do here?
I'm a compliance manager for the investment side of the business.
Great. So how did you get to be a compliance manager? What experiences led you there?
I really kind of fell into it, honestly. My bachelor's is in human and organizational development, so that's one that's widely applicable, management, leadership, organizational effectiveness. But I had some trial and error, I guess, to kind of find the right way to apply it. My first exposure here was in a temporary role, and I ended up joining the company as a coordinator and kind of working my way up to manage the department that I was in. And then I moved to compliance more recently just to continue growing and applying my skills in a different way.
So your role was really kind of non-traditional, how you got here. Once you're here, you've been growing a lot. What kinds of things do you do on a daily basis?
Well, every day is a little bit different, which I certainly appreciate, but I typically start my day with looking at industry news, kind of seeing what the hot topics are out there, what new regulations there might be. Then I spend a fair amount of time in meetings, typically with other, our business leaders, really looking at what we need to do to adapt to new regulatory requirements. I do also watch a lot of webinars, do some targeted research, and then I do writing. I draft actual policy or newsletters and alerts to the reps in our field.
Great. Sounds like you have a wide variety of things that you do. Are there any specific skills that if I was a high school student watching this, I might want to have or want to grow?
Yes, I would say analytical skills are key. So really being willing to ask why, having that propensity and really getting into the details, that's a huge one. And likewise, communication skills are vital in really almost anything, but certainly in writing, in oral communications, definitely important to be able to interact with others and build relationships to achieve mutual goals.
Yeah, so a good communicator. So if I used Facebook, right, could I use that at Emeritus?
You can, yes. We're on Facebook. Our company is on Facebook, and our reps our reps are on Facebook. But we do place some parameters around the kinds of things that our representatives would say about their securities business on Facebook. So I want to make sure that we're fair in what's being presented.
Right, so you guys have used social media, but there's regulations that go with that, so you're using it appropriately for your business.
Right. We're definitely in the social media space.
Sounds cool. So, Brooke, what do you like best about your job?
I enjoy my particular role the most in that I have a really good balance between work that I do individually and that when I get to kind of act as more of a facilitator and work with a lot of different associates within the firm. So I love that balance, as well as the balance that Emeritus offers overall. From a work-life standpoint, I'm able to volunteer within my work day and really have a good balance in a role that helps me ultimately make sure that we're doing the right thing.
Well, thank you so much for teaching me about your role here at Emeritus. We're there in the business of fulfilling life.
We're exploring careers in the finance industry, and the company we're at today handles more than 10% of all the commerce in the US every day. What? They're part of the magic behind this beauty. So right here in Omaha, this is First Data. Well, this is Maria Vieira Vieta. Maria, tell us what First Data is all about.
Sure. So First Data is a broad-based financial services company that offers key components, like, for example, the credit card processing.
Nice.
sector.
So one of the things you guys do is in the moments after you've swiped your card, while you're waiting for the cashier person to say it's okay, that's where you guys come in.
Yes, so we essentially provide all the decisioning behind the swipe. So what we do is we take a look at your account, we take a look at your bank's profile, and we'll take a look at your standing there and make sure that it's, you have enough money in your account or enough credit. Then we'll take a look at some other things like fraud, for example, to make sure that it's really you making that transaction. And we'll have a multitude of other different types of statistics that we need to run through, and then we'll go ahead and approve, decline, or refer your transaction.
So what does a typical day look like for you?
A typical day usually starts with us having a team meeting. We'll have our daily 8:30 meeting where we'll discuss issues that occurred during the previous day. We're a 24/7 team, so we usually have quite a few things to discuss. Then we'll go directly into our queue and we'll manage any tickets that we have. So on average, I'll have about 20 tickets, and I'll go through and review pending issues, new requests, and I'll just work them through.
Now, while you're working, Maria, you're also working towards a master's degree, an MBA, is that right?
That's correct. So I'm currently working on my MBA through First Data's cohort program. So what it is that First Data has a relationship with Bellevue University where the professor will come to our building and we'll have class, every Tuesday evening from 5:30 to 9:30. It's a 2-year long program. It sounds like it's long, but it goes by really quick. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what's your favorite part about the job?
My favorite part about the job is working with the client on a daily basis. I get to work with all different levels of the client. So there will be times where I'll be working with a VP directly, and it's really cool learning about their business and trying to understand how can I help and contribute to their business with the First Data product and services that we have available.
Wow, so it sounds like you're solving problems for your job, working with top level executives, rubbing elbows with the big wigs. Now, I'd love to hear a little bit more about your job. And recently I had my identity stolen. So I checked my bank account, all of a sudden charges are happening I didn't do. They're in like weird places in the US. So I call my bank and the bank calls you. Take it from there, what happens?
Sure, so we'll take a look at your account to make sure that it's truly fraudulent and that it's not you. Then we'll take a look at your account's history. We'll take a look at your FICO score, for example, at your fraud score. Then we'll determine, okay, how much of this was really fraud and why is it happening. We'll usually transfer your account to a new account, so that means you get a new credit card.
Oh, yeah.
And then we get your account back to good standing, so you don't have to pay for those purchases.
Thank goodness. Yeah. Well, Maria, thanks so much for the work you do, and First Data, making sure that this puppy working all right.